Something that I really wish I knew when I started my filmmaking journey was that my boring life can be quite beautiful too. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not that I didn't love my life, quite the opposite actually. When I was 22 years old, I quit both my full-time jobs to become a full-time filmmaker, and life has been anything but boring ever since. What I'm actually referring to is the idea that you can't create content because you have nothing that's exciting going on in your life. You're not traveling to another state or country, you're not out on a shoot for an exciting project, or meeting with other creatives to work on your art, you're just home. And although shooting exciting things can be quite fulfilling, wouldn't it also be fulfilling to grow in your cinematography and overcome the challenge that ordinary life can be? Well, that's exactly the question that I asked myself this week. See, like many others, I've been the person to say that my hometown is way too boring. Nothing cool ever happens here. That the house that I live in just isn't aesthetically pleasing, or that my studio space just isn't as cool looking as it could be. So I wanted to challenge myself to make ordinary life moments into something that you'd see in a movie by changing my perspective and finding a different angle to spice up my shots. Now, I did have help filming and pulling focus from my amazing girlfriend, Kayla Everett. However, you could achieve this shooting solo. Now, for this short film, I wanted to take 3 scenes that I thought would be as ordinary as they get. And that's waking up in the morning, checking the fridge for something to cook, and cooking breakfast. Because I only had a day to work on this, I kept it to only 3 scenes and shot it all with my red Komodo with a 35mm and a 24mm Sigma Art lens, both of them f1.4, and a 16-35mm Canon EF lens f4, which we used for the POV shot inside the fridge. Now, I won't go into too much detail about my rig for the red Komodo, as I have another video that I'm working on that's coming up soon. But I do want to highlight that the gear isn't as important as you might think. I could have easily shot this on my Canon R5, which is what I used for the behind the scenes in this talking headshot. Instead of focusing so much on the camera that I was shooting with, I'd say what was most important was the lighting, the composition, maybe the lens that I was using, and also the sound design. Now, for the first sequence of the short film, I wanted to find a creative way to capture me waking up in the morning. So I went ahead and shot this entirely at night, and we used an Amaran 300C to shine a blue light from the outside through the window to simulate moonlight. And the idea is that I'm not only showing me waking up, but I'm actually showing myself practically blinking. And in a funny way, that's what waking up feels like to me. We also shot the morning scene the same exact way with the same exact setup. The only thing that we did was we ran outside, changed the color from blue to something that was closest to daylight. And my favorite tip, we used haze in a can, which you can get at your local Walmart or on Amazon. And basically what this does is that it allows us to add haze or fog to our image, and it comes in a can. They're super affordable, about $20, and they can really help enhance the light rays in your image. Another thing that's worth mentioning is that all the sounds in this video were done separately from the time that we were filming. That's because I really wanted to focus on the sound design for this video. So I used a super cool and useful DJI Mic 2, but you could honestly use any recording device. But I really liked this microphone because it has a magnet on the back of it, which meant that I could rig it on different places, which made it super easy to record the audio by myself while I was recreating the actions in the video. For the kitchen scene inside the fridge, we went ahead and put the red inside with a 16-35mm f4 and placed 2 bottles on each side of the lens to add a foreground element. The lights inside the fridge actually did a really great job at lighting me up, but I noticed that the back wall behind me was a little bit too plain and there wasn't enough color contrast. So I went ahead and took this super affordable RGB light that I got from Amazon for about $30 and shined the color yellow to the back wall to add some color contrast. Now, one of the biggest challenges that you can run into when filming by yourself is shot coverage. This is making sure that you have enough shots of the same scene or action, but from multiple angles so that you can create a full sequence. For example, for this shot, we have a POV of an item inside the fridge. Then we cut to a close-up of my face showing emotion. And finally, a shot over the shoulder of me reaching for the eggs so that I can cook them. Having a shot list can help you stay organized, and having a mood board or shot inspiration can help you expedite the process of figuring out the composition and what kind of shots you'd like to grab. Now, for the final scene, we have me cooking the eggs. We start with a medium establishing shot of me by the stove, with the lighting consisting of the Amaran 300C shining a yellow color onto the ceiling so it reflects back down and fills the room in a subtle way. And it's yellow because that's the color palette inspiration that I had chosen. We also captured my absolute favorite shot from this short film, which is this POV shot of the frying pan as I'm cracking an egg open and pouring it onto onto the pan to cook. We did this by turning the red on its side and placing a plastic transparent bowl on top of the lens so that I could pour the eggs safely without getting the camera dirty. This is the perfect example of switching your perspective and finding a new angle to something that's super ordinary. Sometimes the moments that seem boring to us aren't really boring. We're just used to them, which means that even if we don't mean to, we tend to take them for granted. But everyone's lives are different, and although you might think that your life would be much cooler if you were in a different space, state, or country, the truth is someone else might find it interesting. And things like lighting, composition, and shot coverage can help you tell a better story. Thanks for watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this.